Fear of failure is a basic fear for everyone, be it a student, a teacher, a monk, or even a millionaire. Everyone is afraid of not meeting the requirements or the expectations of their loved ones, be it their friends or family, right? Today we will discuss this fear from the perspective of students who are dealing with it, right? About me, I'm Prateek, and I went from an average student to the top of my entire grade. I got a 97% in my 10th board exams without any coaching, tuition, or reference books. I'll make you from an average student to the top of your entire grade, and I can guarantee that, right? So, let's start the video. First of all, what is this fear? The fear of failure basically means that you are afraid of failing because you think that something bad will happen if you fail, right? But I want to ask you, what bad will happen? Like, if you're thinking that something bad will happen, then you must have something in mind that will happen, right? Like, for example, I have this fear, like, sometimes I have this fear, and for me, the bad thing that I think can or will happen is that I got amazing grades in my 10th grade, and if I am not able to like reach that expectation, like everyone thinks that I will have amazing grade in my entrance exams or whatever I'll do. If I'm not able to reach the expectations, then that will be bad for me, for my reputation, for my family and everything, and I'll not be able to make my family happy and proud, right? Then there's another fear of if not this then what, right? So for me it was that till I like discovered this concept of actually understanding what this fear of failure is and introspection and everything, and today I'll try to remove this fear from you. So answer this question, what are you actually afraid of? Like, not just answer in your mind, okay, I am afraid of this, that. Clearly say this, what are you actually afraid of? Whatever you are afraid of, just think about it and think, is this life shattering? Is this so destructive that your complete life would just end after this? Now, for people, or for students who are in a level below high school, like in ninth or 8th grade, for you guys, it's literally nothing. Like, no failure can be so life shattering. It is just like, okay, whatever, I failed. So it is just that you feel bad about yourself, and your family might feel that, okay, he's a disappointment or some shit. But that's like manageable. For people in high school, this thing gets serious because then they have entrance exams, they have their board exams, they have to show their parents and everyone that yes, I can do this. And if they cannot, then that is a fear that lingers in their mind, right? So the worst thing that can happen if you fail, think about that. Let's talk about entrance exams, right? You're giving an entrance exam and you fail. After that, what will you do? Like, just think about it. You must have thought something. Like, everyone has some backup option. If that does not work, then what? So generally, what I think is that people just do not think about that. Even though I say that people have backup options, people do have that, but they do not think about that. They just think that, okay, this will happen, and if this will not happen, then we'll see later. But just think about it. Like, if you think that this is so life shattering, then is there actually that much pressure behind that point, that at that point you will have nothing to do after that? Of course not. Even people who failed their high school, who failed their entrance exam, who failed everything, started billion-dollar companies at the end. Even people who could not do anything in their lives, at the end of their lives, started something which was so amazing, and so like they became millionaires, billionaires, and so much. So, is it actually the end of your life? Okay, I'll just give you two paths as an example. First is start your own business. Like, that's an obvious path. Because in today's age, in modern age, college or uni does not matter much. Okay, you are from this college, then you'll get a job, and you also know that people who are in jobs, they generally say that they do not like their jobs, they do not like their lives. So college will only lead to you getting jobs, and that will only lead to you getting like basically a worse life. So generally the better option to be considered is business. Just start a business, try to run the business, try to operate it, try to earn money from it, and if you earn money, then you are already competing with the people who have went through so much trouble of getting into the college, then going through the college, then getting the job, then like transferring jobs for more payments, more money and everything. You are already competing with them with basically half the effort. Why? Because you have now started a business while they are in loan because of the educational loans and everything, and they have like not done not done so much in their life for the past 5 years because they were just studying for the college. But you started your business, and now you are richer than them and richer than anyone who can be like them, right? Like anyone who goes to the college will take at least 5 to 10 years to be as rich as you are, because they'll need time to get a job, then they'll need time to replace their jobs with a better one, right? So you're already richer than them. Second option, even if you do not want to start a business, or let's say you cannot for some reason, even though everyone can, but let's say you just cannot for some reason, for you you can still take a drop year. Just drop, like for people who do not know, drop basically means to repeat a year so that you can give the exam again. Just repeat the whole year, then give the exam again, and this time you have one time, like you have an experience of one time, and you already know what type of questions will be there and everything. So you will be able to do much better than the previous time. So it is not the end of your life. It's just that you either have to try again or try something else, right? And many people just do not realize this thing. They just think that, okay, if I cannot like do it on the first try, then I'm worthless, I'm useless, and that slowly builds up into depression. That slowly builds up into suicide. Now, what I want you to consider is, let's say you are a parent, right? And you have a child, like of course you'd have a child, and that child, like you have seen him or her grow up from the time of their birth to the time of giving the entrance exam, right? It would be around 15 or 16 years. We have seen them grow up. Now, after they have grown up so much, what will you consider? Them considering, what will you think is much better? Them considering suicide because they like could not crack the exam or could not do the entrance, or them trying again or trying something different? Now, tell me the answer. If you are a good parent and a normal good human being, like a basic human being, you'd of course consider, and much rather, like of course you'd prefer that at any cost, that they either try a different path or they try it again, rather than them just ending their lives. Because for you, their life is much more important than some exam or some weird ass like entrance or some shit, right? So that's what I want you to consider. Like even though you have to try your best, remember, unless you do not have your parents, so you are living with your family and they'll like remove you from the house as soon as you turn 18 or something, like that's a very rare situation, or your parents are abusive, okay? But for general population, your parents generally would prefer you existing, at least just living a normal life, rather than you trying to do something like suicide or something. Because first, if you are saved, like if you accidentally, because you could not jump from a longer height or something, you are still alive, that would be bad for both you and your parents. And if you like pass away, then that would be bad still. So rather than considering these type of options, which I don't know why some people have, just go to the place and try again. Just go to your room and study and study and study. Even if you fail, try again. Even if you fail, try again. Just try again and again till you pass. And if you like, let's say you cannot try after the second try, then who cares? In the modern age, no one is really asking for your actual like college ID or some shit. Okay, it can give a huge boost in jobs and all, but you also have heard those quotes like Thomas Edison said that a piece of paper cannot describe your future, or some random dude said that college and uni are basically useless. So remember that these type of things can be a boost, but they do not define your life. And live your life by just following one principle: do the work without worrying for the reward. It's a quote from Bhagavad Gita, which is the holy book of Hinduism. And though I am not very religious, I still like this quote so much. Like, tu karm kar, phal ki chinta mat kar. This is the quote in Hindi, and in English it basically translates to do the work without worrying about the rewards. So I just follow this quote, and as I said in my video about you like how to not have regrets, just do the work, just do the things, but do not worry about the past or the future, right? Just do the work, do the best that you can, and hope for the best. Even if you do not get the best, even if you tried your best, you gave your best, you still did not get the best. you still, let's say, did not get into your dream college or dream uni or something, who cares? At least you tried, right? If you tried, then that's already enough. Because your parents do not care if you are like not into that college or not into like that university or something. They only care that you are at least like alive. You are at least with them. Remember that. So the option for suicide or something, just keep it out of your mind. Remember this thing. They always would prefer you rather than some marks or score, right? Now, as I've told this to you, there are again multiple paths after you fail. Even after you fail, you have thousands of paths. Like people generally fail. If you are looking at an average person, the average person will fail. Like that's not some exaggeration, something that's just basic statistics. If only 1 or 2% get selected, then the other 98% will fail, of course. And let's say you are even in that 98%, then who cares, right? Who cares? Just think about that. Who cares? You are nothing different from an average person. Okay, this might sound like an insult, but still, remember there are a lot of people who fail, and if you are one of them, then just try something else or try again. Remember, try something else, try again, but do not consider things like that. Like I just said, like suicide and all, right? For people who are below high school level right now, for you guys, what I think is that if you are not successful or if you do not get good grades like a 90 or 100%, then you right now deserve it. Because like for people below high school, what is there in those subjects? Maths is basically applying formulas, history is learning the like past, geography is learning the present, science is learning the different like formulas and everything. So there's nothing like solving or tricky part there. That's why I'm saying, if you are not so successful, then you deserve it, and either change your studying method, like you can follow my videos or something, or like consider studying more, because you are studying either less, or if you are studying more, then you're studying wrong. So if you are in a lower grade or if you are in a lower class, then what I think is that you have to either change your method or study more. But for people who are in upper grades, like in high school or something, remember, it is not the end. Even if you fail, you can try again and again. You can choose some different path, because there are a lot of people who have failed, who will fail, and who will be failing in the future, even when you are giving the exam, and even when you have given the exam and either passed or failed. So remember to not be afraid of failure. Just think of life like this, like a straight line, right? Now, if your life is a straight line, and let's say you have a failure, then your life will go down. But slowly, it will have to come up somehow, right? You cannot just keep it down and just expect it to just go as it is, right? It will at some time, have to come up, and that will happen. So you just keep trusting yourself and do the hard work, right? Now, a common problem that many people feel is that their relatives would say something, even if their parents do not say something, and even if their parents say something, the relatives and parents, they both would say something to them. To that, what I think is that at most a person can say for 2 or 3 days. After that, no one would say anything, right? Like they can just say, "Oh, I thought that you expect that you would get much more. Oh, I thought that you would be much like more successful and amazing." But after 2 or 3 days, who cares about someone? Let's say you have a cousin, right? Your cousin fails his entrance exam. What will you do? Okay, for 1 or 2 days you will make fun of him. Oh, I don't think that like he can be successful or anything. But after that you will stop caring. Similarly, imagine you are the cousin or you are the relative. Who will care about you after 2 or 3 days? Even if you are successful. Like I literally got a 97%, and I can say that after 2 or 3 days no one really cares. For 1 or 2 days they'll say that, oh wow, amazing, you are this, that, or if you fail, then they'll say you are a disappointment, this, that. But after those 2 or 3 days, no one really cares. So just remember, no one really cares about any other person's life. Do not consider anything like suicide or anything. And just remember, if you are like living and just trying your best, then you're already ahead of 99% of people. Even if you fail, then remember, failure is a part of life and failure is the stepping stone for success. Okay, it might sound cringy, but that's the truth, right? So that was what I wanted to say. And this concept of understanding that there are a lot more paths or you can try again and again, this concept has helped me a lot too. That's why I'm saying this to you, right? So this was all for the video. Now if you want more content like this, like more help from me personally, in which I tell my personal memorization technique, how do you create a timetable, how do you create a perfect method for studying. If you want these kind of videos and information from me, then I highly recommend you to join my program. It's a very affordable course right now, like $5. Like how much is $5, right? It is $5 for first 5 people. And if you want to pay through UPI, you can. If you want to pay through Gumroad, like if it is the website on which it is hosted, then you can. $5 is a very less amount. Like for international buyers, it is $5, and for Indian buyers, it is the Indian equivalent of $5. You can pay through UPI or through card. I highly recommend you to join it to increase your study proficiency and efficiency, and to be the top of your grade. Right? I will guarantee that I will get you to the top of your grade. So I'll see you in the next video. You can watch my previous video, and I recommend you to join my program. Alright, like and subscribe, click the bell icon and whatever, like everything, you already know that, right? So I'll see you in the next video. Till then, work like a dog, live like a lion.